Hey y'all, this is Audra Hicks with Simply Home, your Tennessee realtor. Today I'm going to be telling y'all about the things that will convey or stay with your home when you go to sell it. I thought it'd be interesting to figure out what does stay and does not stay, or supposed to anyway. So stay tuned because I put the real in real estate. So you might not know what conveys with the sale of your home. So I'm going to go over things that should stay, at least here in Tennessee. I don't know how things are in other states, but here in Tennessee, what is supposed to convey or stay with your home sale. If at all there is anything that you want to keep that is usually supposed to convey, you either need to take it out ahead of time, fix and repair walls, or whatever it is that you took it out of needs to be repaired ahead of time before we list it, or you need to let your agent know that that is not going to convey, so that they can, and we'll put it in the listing agreement that that will not convey, and then the agent will make note on the MLS that it is not going to convey with the home. So that way you don't have anybody misunderstanding what does convey and doesn't. That doesn't mean a buyer won't ask for that. If they see it in the home still, they may still ask for it. I've seen that with security systems, all kinds of things that people have said that they wanted to take with them. Ring doorbells, some of them want to take those with them, and a lot of buyers want to keep those too. On that note, when you have any type of system like that, ring doorbells, security, you need to give the access codes to the buyer and go ahead and take it out of your name ahead of time before you close on the house. That way they can get it set up in their own account. Okay. First off, let's see. Lighting fixtures and bulbs included in ceiling fans. All of those convey with the home. Anything that's permanently mounted conveys with the home. Like plate glass mirrors, heating and cooling systems, and plumbing fixtures and equipment. All the doors, you wouldn't think you have to tell people that, and storm doors and windows, they stay. They will convey with the home. They're permanently attached. If you're attached to a said door, you need to remove that door before we ever list it and replace it with a different door. Now, all window treatments, including shutters and blinds, shades, curtains, draperies, any of that, unless draperies have been custom made for you, or you've got a sentimental attachment to them. I've had several clients that want to keep their draperies, so we have to let the other side know that those are not going to stay. If they're not willing to go ahead and remove them before we list it so that they're not seen by a buyer anyway, that's always the better idea, to go ahead and remove it, unless it accentuates the house to where it looks really good. But you're going to have a buyer probably love that about it and want to still ask for it. So if you don't want somebody to come back and ask you for it, then it's better to just remove it so they never seen it anyway. And all the hardware. So say you have the curtain rods, they're permanently attached. You'll leave those, even if you're not leaving the draperies, and y'all have already worked that out, that you are taking them with you. You need to leave behind their hardware for them. If not, that kind of thing needs to be taken out ahead of time. The walls need to be fixed and painted and stuff like that. You wouldn't think you have to tell people wall-to-wall carpet needs to stay in the home and don't remove it. So if you like your rugs or your carpet, not rugs, but wall-to-wall carpet is a rug, but it's permanently attached. So you wouldn't think you have to tell people that. But if you really like it and want to take it out ahead of time, replace it with flooring, and then we'll be all good. But that's something you got to tell people. The range, all built-in kitchen appliances. Built-ins meaning anything that is built in. So in our home, it's a higher end home, so you've got built-in refrigerator, you've got built-in wall oven, and convection oven and microwave. All of that's built in. The cooktop, it's built in. I mean, your dishwasher is built in, all of that already. I mean, it's in there. Usually, now there are portable dishwashers that will not stay. But if a refrigerator is not built in and it's a slide-in refrigerator, that is negotiable usually. Your sellers may want to, or my sellers may want to keep it and take it with them, or just make it negotiable. But most of the time they leave it, because that's a selling point for buyers. Not all buyers, they're already paying a lot down, or closing costs sometimes, or a lot of money out of pocket for moving. So sometimes it's better to not, if you want to sell the house, to just leave your refrigerator there, unless you're attached to it and you really got to have it, So ahead of time, you go ahead and let your agent know, so that they can put that on the MLS that is not going to convey. We write that in our listing agreement, the things that we know that are not going to convey. We make sure we make note in there the things that you want to keep. Heating, cooling, plumbing fixtures, I think I went over that. You need to leave your gas logs. Like if you have a gas fireplace, you need to leave the gas logs that are in there and attached with the home. Now I know on some new construction, they don't even come with gas logs. So sometimes buyers know they have to buy that, because the builder is not going to supply that for them. So that's understandable at that point. Now the fireplace doors and the screens and stuff that are attached, they all need to stay as well. Security systems, all the components and controls, that is permanently. Some of them are not. Some of them are just sitting there, so that's not permanently attached. That will not convey, unless the buyers requested it to, and y'all have come to an agreement that it's staying. So anything that's permanently attached, that's a security system, and because you got Ring stuff these days, and you've got all kinds of portable things that really are not attached, security wise, but that kind of thing, either you make note that it's gonna go with you, or you're just gonna leave it. But up front, that's things that you go over with your agent, that because I have a lot of Ring doorbells that the seller wants to take with them. They already have it in their name. They'd rather just take it away and take it to their new home. Or if they're going to leave it, that's one thing that you really need to do, is make sure, like I said, to have it out of your name, and so that the buyer can set it up in theirs. So garage door opener and all of the remotes for that garage door opener. So say you had 3, 4, 5 remotes, you're going to leave all those behind. And these days, in every one of our vehicles, most of the time, people that are techno or have somebody in the family that is, they've already programmed that in their vehicle. So as a buyer coming in, I want you to know, when you buy a home that has that, you want to, no matter if they gave you the garage door openers or not, you reprogram those garage door openers if you don't want to put it into your program of your car, or both of them. You go ahead and reprogram that garage door opener. You don't want to leave it to where who knows who's had that garage door opener or programmed it in their car. Just for safety of you and your family, it's always good to go ahead and have that redone. If you don't know how to do it, your agent will probably have somebody that's a handyman that can do it. I know my hubby and son, they're techno, so they know how to do all of that. Our home is all technology. Everything's techno and comes on and off as we go in rooms and stuff, so they know how to do all that. I'll leave that to them. But if you don't have somebody like that, we can find somebody for you that can help do all that for you. Same thing with keys to all the doors. Those must be left behind. The keys, even though you might have all the keys, you don't really know who they gave keys to, who's made extra keys, what contractors have been there that have keys to that home. So as a safety measure, always have all the outdoor locks rekeyed. Or some people want to remove the whole thing anyway and put in, touchless and automated things. So that's always the best time to do that, is when you're fixing to move into the home. Once you buy it, one of the first things to do is go get all that done. Because once you start putting stuff in that home, then hey, I've done all that. I feel safer. All my stuff's going to be in there and stuff. So you want to make sure you take care of you and your family on that. So swimming pool and its equipment. So above ground swimming pools, they stay. The equipment that is with it stays. Now accessories and things like that, unless it's like a cover that's attached and stuff like that, you'll that's not necessarily part to leave there. Most sellers will leave all that behind, or buyers request it and ask for it in the agreement. So just look at the contract and see what stays and goes on that part. Any awnings outside, those you're going to want to leave. They're permanently attached, and you have awnings outside that maybe on the patio and things like that. You need to leave that behind. The permanently installed outdoor grills. When you have done the beautiful outdoor area and permanently put in that grill, that is like inside the kitchen where you have permanently installed, appliances. You're going to leave that grill. Now, if it's just a grill that wheels around and, is portable, you don't leave that. But you must leave the other. All landscaping and outdoor lighting to do with that landscaping, all of that needs to stay with the home. Don't be pulling up all the mulch and rock and bushes and stuff like that, and all of your edgers and stuff. Don't take that with you. All that stays. The buyer's seen that already. It's already there. If any of that you wanted to change, you would need to do that on the front end. But I have had some sellers that say, oh, I forgot to tell you that this said bush is, in memory of this person, and I really want to take it with me, and can I do that? And then we have to go asking the buyer's side and stuff, hey, are you okay with that? Most of the time they are, and I've had that several times. People have said that they want to remove it. Most of the time I'd say try to do that ahead of time, or let us know on the front end so that we can let the buyers know ahead of time that that's not going to stay there, just so you know. Same thing with like anything that's permanently mounted outside, like the old-fashioned dinner bells. Those are usually on a post that's dug in the ground and concreted or just put there. That kind of thing stays, or you tell us ahead of time on that it's going to go. So that kind of thing stays. Now, basketball goals with backboards, if they're permanently attached or mounted or in the ground, you will leave those. But any of the portable ones, you just take those with you. But just keep in mind, anything that you have at the house that the buyer has seen, they sometimes request certain things. So don't be surprised if they do that. A lot of times in contracts, we don't want to put personal items, because as an agent realtor, you don't sell personal property. You sell houses and land and things like that. You don't sell personal items of people. But outside of there, the seller and the buyer can do an agreement and figure out what is going to stay if it's a lot of stuff. Now, I've had that happen too. So TV mounting brackets, the wall mount and TV brackets, but you keep your flat screen. Like, that's not staying unless you've negotiated with the buyer that they're keeping it, or they've negotiated with the seller that they want it. That kind of thing. I have to say, the TV wall mounts, if it's something that you really love, that TV wall mount, and you got to take it with you, you really need to take that down and repair the wall, paint it, and replace it with a different bracket before we ever list it. That way, there's no issues with it if you really want to take those things with you. I've had that a few times. They love that wall mount and they can't buy it again. They want to take it with them, so I get that. Take it down first. Otherwise, you're going to have to tell us to let the other side know that, hey, you're going to do that, but you must repair those walls and paint it before you move. So that's why I say on the front end it's better to do that. Now, on a side note of that, your TV is attached to, there's a bracket on the back of your TV, or brackets on the back of your TV that go on the bracket to hang it onto the wall, and all of that needs to stay when you leave. So many sellers, when they have moving companies come in, or even them taking it down themselves, they take the TV down and they forget that there's things attached to it that go on that bracket, and then that is useless to the buyer that comes in, and it makes a buyer upset. Hey, they didn't leave us the back part that goes on the TV, and then you have to call the other side and see where. Most of the time, they don't even know where they're at, so I don't get it. It should be on the back of their TV unless their mover took it off and packed it somewhere. So just plan ahead of time that you know those need to be left behind. Otherwise, that's useless to the buyer. They're going to have to remove it and then fill in all the holes and repair the walls. And usually they're gaping holes because those have to go in the studs and stuff. So, or if they're not, they have a lot of holes left behind. So that all has to be repaired. That doesn't make for a happy buyer if you take that with you. Antennas and satellite dishes and all components. You don't see that a lot unless it's a home that already had it there already, and people don't even think about that. Most of the time, they just leave it anyway. Not many satellite dishes anymore, so all of your equipment that goes with that on the inside that's not attached, that goes with you. But the satellite dish itself, if it's mounted on the house or outside in the yard, you got to leave that. The TV antennas too. Central vacuum systems and the attachments. So a central vac is something that's permanently attached to the house. It's usually outside in the garage, the part that takes all of the debris once it's gotten out of the house. And that's where you go to empty it all the time. So you need to leave that part there, and all of the hoses and attachments that go to that central vac need to be left behind that you still have or whatever. If you don't have certain things, you need to let your agent know, to let the other side know, hey, we don't have certain attachments, but we do have this. Some people don't use their central vac anymore, so they might have lost things over time. So just be open about what you do have and stuff, but leave all that behind. Usually I say just leave all the attachments and hoses in a closet, and the buyer will know they're there at walkthrough and stuff. So you need to leave all the keys and key fobs, access codes, master codes, and other methods necessary to access the property that you know of. That includes any of mailbox and amenity keys and stuff like that. If you're in an HOA, there's sometimes access codes or locks to get in. So you might have a key to mailboxes or pools and amenities and things like that, or workout rooms. You need to, leave all that behind for the buyers. Sometimes, they forget and take it with them, and afterwards we're trying to hunt them down and stuff. So all that needs to stay. Now also storage sheds, usually those do stay, but if it's something you're wanting to take with you, because those can be iffy or negotiable, we just make note on the MLS already up front that, hey, the storage shed does not convey, certain things don't convey, so that they know, hey, hey, there's a nice storage shed. I thought it was staying. No, it's on the MLS. It's not conveying, so, and it's not put in a contract anywhere. So, hopefully that gives you a good idea of things that will convey. A lot of people didn't know a lot of this stuff, so I try to go over that with my sellers and let them know ahead of time so that they don't get surprised either, because they've already packed up all their draperies and stuff, but it's in the contract. If you read the contract, or if you have had your agent go over the contract with you, it should be in there already. Again, this is Tennessee. I don't know other states what's entailed in living in a home, but this is Tennessee, and the things that usually convey or are negotiable, or up front told to the other side that it's not going to convey. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, and if you do like any of my videos, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Y'all have a good day. Thanks.